Hi, folks. David Leitch here from Michelson's Attorneys. I'd like to chat to you today about information security and the Internet of Things. So, the Internet of Things is a phenomenon of computer chips and sensors being embedded in everyday physical objects that connect them to each other and the Internet. It's transforming the world, with service providers rolling out IoT networks across the globe. However, how secure are these sorts of networks? While they may be technically robust, the weak link in any information system from a security perspective is often the human element. So the biggest security risk in IoT is exactly that. It results in lots of new devices that mediate communications between people, be they mobile phones, wearables, or retail and industrial devices. This introduces many more vulnerabilities for fraud, phishing, and other social engineering attacks. So legislators are imposing information security requirements that apply to IoT indirectly, but are they doing enough to prevent incidents is the question. So let's talk about the information security requirements for the Internet of Things. Most data protection laws around the world, such as the GDPR in Europe or the Data Protection Act in the UK or POPIA in South Africa, have an umbrella information security requirement obliging anyone who processes the personal data of data subjects to implement commensurate technical and organizational measures proportional to many factors to protect that personal data from unauthorized access. Business needs to identify the risks to the personal data, identify potential safeguards, actually create those safeguards, check that they're working on an ongoing basis, and update them as necessary to satisfy this requirement. Data protection laws also generally require those responsible for processing personal data to consider prevailing information security practices and procedures that apply to their industry specifically or in terms of their professional rules and regulations. This obliges businesses to comply with more stringent information security obligations in specific industries where data subjects commonly use Internet of Things devices, such as banking, for example, where banks increasingly rely on mobile phones, NFC cards, and biometric readers as part of their payment systems, and possibly healthcare, where modern hospitals use IoT patient cardiac, respiratory, or other monitoring devices. So the answer to my question that I posed at the beginning is that data protection laws don't do enough. People's mistakes have long plagued information security in the global business landscape, with human error, at least in part, causing many data breaches, leaks, and other incidents in recent years. IoT amplifies the existing risk of operational information security, such as what humans do when faced with social engineering attacks by creating lots of new devices that cyber criminals can exploit to manipulate people. So while there is often a general information security requirement, and there are generally industry-specific information security requirements in place, none of them deal with the Internet of Things directly enough to address the rising threat. If you need help with information security of the Internet of Things, please feel free to drop us a mail at support@michelsons.com, and we'd be glad to chat to you.